Pleasant good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, both Facebook and YouTube. Um, New month, happy September to those who would hear this now and those who would hear this after. We are already in the ninth month of the year, and so much going on. I mean, September started, and I don't know for you all, but September started with a bang for me. So we weren't able to do morning devotions yesterday, and we are hella late today. But nevertheless, we are here. So today's topic, we're gonna be. I'm gonna try to make this short because I know others have their day ahead of them, and I myself have a long day ahead of me, which I'm yet to prepare for yet. So today devotion, we're gonna speak on the importance of time, the importance of what you give your time to and who you give your time to, and how that is also translated into either one of two things: prosperity in your life, or actually, it can transfer into prosperity, it can transfer into stagnancy, and it can transfer into you being complacent. So, in that discussion this morning, it's a touchy. Why I say it's a touchy topic, because there are some times that persons haven't recognized that they no longer have control of their time, nor do they have control over who they give their time to. So, I mean, and this is separate from people who may have to go to work, because I mean that in itself is also giving of your time. But exactly what are you giving of your time into, right? So it's something to look at as well in what we're going to pay attention to today. The importance of our time in this earth. Now, one of the things that I think we do not identify as human beings is that when we celebrate our birthday, and one of my mentors spoke on this some time back, and it was so true. When we look at our birthday and we celebrate our birthday, we celebrate our birthday as a year being added. As okay, I'm now 22 years, I'm now 23, I've now moved on to 25, how much ever years that you now hold upon the face of this earth. But while we are counting up towards meeting a higher age in life, life itself is counting down. So every year that passes is a decrease of life that you have upon the face of the earth. And the perspective in which we look at it from is a bit different, should I say a bit more logical rather than it is spiritual, right? Because as much as we were once in the spirit world, we are now in the physical world. There is a particular time by which we have allotted here to complete a particular task and get back to the spiritual world. So whether we admit it or not, whether we like it or not, the life in which we are living here is in preparation for the spirit world. All right? So, who or what has your time? Who or what has your time, and is it towards the benefacting task in which you are actually here upon earth to fulfill, right? Because as I said, and it's one thing that you will always hear from me, being upon earth is more than just accomplishing house, car, and land. There is a particular potent legacy in which not everybody gets to that place, and that is the truth. Not everyone gets to that place where they actually leave a intangible legacy that people could testify of. Some leave riches, some leave house, car, land, some leave a good name, but not everyone leaves a legacy. How many of us are actually working towards leaving a legacy for our name so that after we depart, that people who meet our children will be able to say that here what your mother or your father, because they did so and so, or because they had this impact upon me, that I'm able to now say and look after you because of who you came from. Not a temporary impact, but a lasting impact, an impact that changes the trajectory of someone's life. So every time that we live upon the face of this earth, yes, we are living in this time and in our time to fulfill the individual things that we want to, but it also, the goal should be for it to have a legacy of impact for someone else, right? So we're going to read the scripture that we're going to read this morning is so profound, and is going to give an identification not just of the importance of time, but how we can actually waste time while yet being on the face of the earth. So the first reading is going to be taken from Joshua 5 and verse 6. And it says, for the children of Israel walked 40 days in the wilderness, 40 years, sorry, in the wilderness, till all the people that were men of war, which came out of Egypt, were consumed, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord, unto whom the Lord sware that he would not show them the land, which the Lord sware unto their fathers that he would give them, a land flowing with milk and honey. So this is the promised land by which the children of Israel was supposed to inhabit. Now Deuteronomy 1 and verse 2 speaks of how long that journey was supposed to be. A journey that was supposed to be approximately 11 days. Hear me out. A journey that was supposed to approximately be 11 days took them 40 years. And in that 40 years, those that actually received the deliverance out of Egypt, they died out. So none of them actually, except Caleb and Joshua, were the only two that was able to experience what the promised land is. So this is a perfect example of not just wasting time, but also going around the same mountain twice, three times, you know, of life, of things that we know is not really beneficial to where we're going, but yet still we cannot move. We cannot move forward from it. So time, I want us to think of time as a currency. Time is a currency. What you do with that time is what you get out of that time. Just like with money, you go with money and you go to a supermarket to purchase, there is an exchange because you are provided the currency of money. You are now able to exchange it now for grocery items. So whatsoever you do with your time, or whomsoever you give your time, is what you get back out of life. It don't even have to be now, but it also determines what you get back out of life in the days ahead of you. And when I mean the days ahead of you, the days that are counting down, not the days that are adding up. So while we see it as 44, 45, 46, 47, and that is how we age in this world, yes, it is counting down for God, and it is also counting down for us to return to the spiritual realm. 47, 46, 45, 44. So if it is we are able to change our mind, change our perspective on how we think, how we see things with respect to the time that we have on the face of the earth living, we would pay really close attention to what and who we give our time to. I mean, this is a reality that one we are awoken to it, but at some point in time we fall asleep again. And next time we are awoken to the time, and then we fall asleep again. But this time, I think it is time now for us to wake up and stay woke in order to get something accomplished in which we need to get accomplished to actually leave a legacy based on what we have done with the time that we are here upon it. So if there's a quote about building an empire. One may take that lightly, but there are other people who are actually serious about that notation of building an empire. And if one has the ability to build an empire, one has the ability to leave a legacy behind, not just of their name, but also for the people that they would leave behind. If you do not have the capacity, or if you do not develop the capacity and develop the determination and the mindset of one that is able to leave a legacy, you will always be aspiring to leave a legacy. Meaning that you have the foresight, this is something that you know you want to accomplish, but you never really take the steps or develop the attitude or the posture, the mentality in order to do so. So in your mind, you know that these are the things that you want to accomplish, these are the things that you want to do. But how much of your day or how much of your time is actually invested in this particular empire that you want to build, in this legacy that you want to leave for your name? As I said, not everyone will be great. Not everyone will be a Albert Einstein. Not everyone will be the one that when persons call their name, that their name is remembered. Because it takes a certain level of persistence and a certain level of teachable spirit, because no one that accomplished anything great upon the face of this earth accomplished it separate from tutors or mentors to actually get them there. So Moses, in this case, leading the children of Israel out, he had some level of insight, some level of foresight of what it takes to come out from bondage. Because remember, Moses grew up in the house of the Egyptians, and he now had to be taken out. So he know what it's like to be delivered from. So too, Moses now stood, basically, I would say in this day and age, as what is known as the mentor. So who is mentoring you? Who do you look at for an example of how you invest your time in order to get accomplished the things that you want to get accomplished? If when you search your life and we are living this by guess, if you are living by guesswork, and let me tell you something, for every part of life, there is always an individual specialized for that particular purpose. No one mentor or no one educator, whomsoever you call them or you want them to be, is trained for every part of your life. Because at the end of the day, your pastor in church who teaches you the spirituality and teaches you about God and all of that. Your pastor, you wouldn't take your pastor and carry your pastor to the gym unless your pastor is also a gym instructor. You wouldn't take your pastor and carry your pastor to the gym and now ask your pastor to be a gym instructor as well. I hope I'm making sense to somebody. So this is where we tend to mix up and the take mentors or take persons and just apply it across the board in every other part of life. And that is where the time allotted is now confused and nothing really ends up being accomplished. Because your pastor is not your gym instructor. Your pastor is not your gym instructor. Your gym instructor is actually trained to get you to accomplish whatever health goals you want to accomplish, whatever body goals you want to accomplish. That is what they are trained for. So there are persons who are assigned to you at particular moments in order for you to accomplish in that particular time what you need to accomplish. If you blur those lines, you could end up in a situation where it filters over into other parts of life that they should not be. But guess what? You may not know that. So it is good to align yourself with whom is needed in the season and in the moment to get you to where you need to get to. So this is why I said it is important who has your time and what has your time. So the investment of your time, if Mark Zuckerberg has your time most of the day, guess what? Mark Zuckerberg is able to get paid for running his commercials because he has us scrolling, 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 and as we scroll, our life is passing by with every scroll, and his advertisement is getting played. Sorry, Mark, that are using your same Facebook and letting out your secret out there, but it's truth, and it's a reality that we have to wake up to. Social media also has our time. How much of your time are you invested in truly asking God, what direction do you want me to go in this time, in this season? Am I in the correct place in this time and in this season? Because if you are not in the correct place in the time and in the season, you could be missing a season where you're supposed to be elsewhere or you're supposed to be fulfilling another task. This is a rude awakening this morning, not even just for you all, but for me as well. It's an awakening as to if your feet is not properly positioned in time, you can be out of time and now trying to catch up with time. And that is a difficult place to be. Because as much as God is able to restore all the years and the time that the locust, the cankerworm, and the caterpillar has eaten, if you cannot identify that your time is being eaten, or if you cannot identify that someone is taking precious time from you that can be invested in what you are called to do or in what you are meant to accomplish in that moment, because you can become numb to your environment and complacent. Remember, we spoke about complacency earlier on. Because you can become complacent in where you are at, you are not recognizing that every second, every hour, and every day that pass, that someone is taking your time, an environment is taking your time, or a situation is taking your time, you wouldn't take steps and measures to nip it, stop it, and change the course by which you can now go in the direction that you should go to accomplish what you need to set out to accomplish. The thing is, most people do not know what they are supposed to accomplish. You can be at an 8 to 4, Monday to Friday, and accomplishing your investment in that time. But what are you investing separately for yourself? Because at the end of the day, not everybody called to be entrepreneurs. There are some persons that are entrepreneurs. There's a difference between entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. Not everyone has the gift for entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is one who actually works towards another's goal. They actually work with someone in a company, and that is where they will flourish. They will flourish in actually being a helper to someone else's vision and goal. Whereas the entrepreneur has the capacity to be able to launch out and be the embodiment of something new, something individual, something standalone. Not everyone, and I pray God that persons come to the reality that not everyone is born for that, not everyone has that gift. So it is important to identify who you are, the type of things that you desire to accomplish, whether you are an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur. That is a great identification to make in life. Why I would say that is because in order, the word of God says money answereth all things. And in money being a day-to-day currency that we need for living, it means that the means by which it will come, you would have to identify what is the correct means by which I should operate in order to be able to be resourceful to myself and to my family. Do I have the gift of entrepreneurship or am I an entrepreneur? And I explain the difference between the two so that you can identify who you are. Because if you are someone that works in a corporate space, you would spend at least 8 hours or more in such a space. You'll have to identify my time. Am I entrepreneur or am I entrepreneur? And this is where one has to be honest to themselves. If you recognize that you may not be able or you do not have the determination or the drive within you to operate in entrepreneurship, please do not get the inspiration that you are about to start a company or a business that you believe is going to be your individual finances and you leave your job totally and this is what you sold out for. No, people of God. No, beloved. Ask God for direction and let God lead you and guide you in who you are, either entrepreneur or entrepreneur. And the acceptance, please, I beg, this is the most important part. When you assess yourself and you get the response, then you are able to now identify in full and in truth who you are and work from there. Because that is where your resources financially is going to be coming from, and you need to be positioned in the correct place to be able to gain the results that you need. So that is concerning what and where you invest your time. Who you invest your time with, that could be in many circumstances. You don't want to be like the children of Israel. A journey that was supposed to take you a shorter space of time took you longer. If you have an iPhone 5 or an S5 and they are all the way in iPhone 12 and iPhone 13 and going up there, guess what? You are operating on former things. And the time that it will take you to accomplish a task with an iPhone 5, it's different if you get the updated version. But it is all a decision that you make. You can either invest your time in fighting up with the iPhone 5 or make the correct assessment of who you are, entrepreneur, get the resources that you need to invest and also purchase or get the updated version of the iPhone so that you do not waste time in accomplishing the vision that you have. If God has provided you a train, please do not take a bus. If God has provided you a train, do not take a bus. Who you invest your time with, who you are around, whomever has access to your time has access to your life. They can either slow you down, destroy you, or they can pick you up with speed and go with you based on who you give your time, who you are around, whose atmosphere are you in. Because when you spend time with someone, you spend time with that person's atmosphere. You spend time with the environment of who that person has cultivated themselves to be. And if that person has a measure of cultivation that does not match the value of what your time needs in the moment, you can't be settling for less than what you're supposed to get in that moment. Whether it is a friend, and that friend, maybe every time you all talk, the conversation is not really as useful or resourceful. There is no fruit bearing coming out of the conversations. It could even be a spouse, unfortunately. No fruit coming out of the engagement, the time, but there can be a mere facade of fruit. When I mean a mere facade of fruit, they can have the appearance as if there is fruit, but underneath there is really no fruit that is being produced. So the assessment has to be done as to the importance of your time, who you spend that time with, where you spend that time, what you spend that time doing. So we're not going to be long this morning. This is just something that I would like for us to hold on to today, right? So a few announcements before I go and I actually start getting ready for my day. Um, the 29th of September, single and cultivated and married, we are going to be having our next conference. This will be the next conference after we had the launch on the 29th of September. So look out for that. We're going to start doing the advertisement for that for those who are a part of the community already and those who desire to be a part of it. The theme for this month is the birth of the promise. The birth of the promise. This month is actually the anniversary of the birthing of single and cultivated and married. So we're gonna have our single session, our married session, our divorce session, widowed session, you know, engaged persons, and we want to let you all know we do not discriminate based on whatever circumstance that you have gone through in single and cultivated and married community. So everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome to play a part, to share your story, to build with us, to grow with us as we continue along to build the legacy of single and cultivated and married. So I'm gonna leave this with you all. That is one announcement. Tomorrow's devotion. Tomorrow, yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow's devotion, I'm gonna have a second announcement in which I will post as well, right? So look out for that. And yeah, so we look forward to the 29th of September and what we're about to do with SACAM, single and cultivated and married. For those that have been a part of it so far, I am so grateful. I'm elated for the people that have been blessed by it and the people that their mind was set free to think to a different level or a different perspective based on single and cultivated and married. Those who have actually set out to be a blessing to us, right? Get on board. Those who have not come on board yet with us, we are here. It's really an exciting movement, not just dealing with family, not just dealing with relationships and marriages, but we are dealing with the individual self, creating a better you. So that is what we look forward to. So come the 29th of September, we have the birth of the promise. This month being the anniversary month of the birthing of single and cultivated. So short, sweet, to the point. This morning we didn't go as extensive and as deep. We came on a bit late, but nevertheless, I bless those that would look at this afterwards, and I bless those that would see it now. May you truly see the importance of your time, see the importance of who you give your time to, what you give your time to, knowing that time is counting down. You may celebrate your birthday, but it is time counting down. Every day that passes, time is removed from you. from whatever you're supposed to accomplish. So grab a hold of your time and make it useful. This is why sometimes you go for consultation. Even if you come to an attorney at law or you go by a doctor, there is a particular time that you pay for. You pay for this amount for maybe 1 hour or this amount for an hour and a half. And based upon that, that is that person allotting their time to be able to accomplish what they need to accomplish. So it's the same principle in which we ought to put into play in our lives, right? Who has your time? What has your time? Where has your time? Whose atmosphere is causing your time to be sucked from you? Or who is actually adding? Whose time? Who do you spend time with that adds to your life? So find people that when you spend time with them, that they add to your life, right? So on that note, we're gonna end. You all have a good day. May God bless you all, keep you all. September month, the month of birthing. Let's go. So you all have a good one.